Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Monday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we all know that the Los Angeles Lakers were back at home on yesterday, following, I believe, what was a 4-game road trip where they won 1 out of those 4 games. As we know, they dropped a game to the Houston Rockets. And of course, they did finish up strong by winning against the Phoenix Suns. So they were looking to have a 2-game win streak back in the friendly confines of crypto.com arena on yesterday. And of course, on yesterday afternoon, we got the news that LeBron James would not be in action because he was nursing a calf contusion that we saw that he was injured, that had him limping pretty badly in the game against Phoenix, even though he did finish that game with 30 points and of course made some big plays down the stretch as the Lakers went on to prevail against the Phoenix Suns in the end-game tournament. Now, we do know that, of course, all the haters came out and said, LeBron is faking. LeBron is faking. Only person, nope, I don't hear this from any other players, but for some reason, people want to say LeBron James is faking an injury. Now, where do they do that at? But for some reason, he got to be faking. We saw the pain he was in, the wincing and everything that he went through. He about to be 39 years old next month. But of course, haters, for whatever reason, still got something to say. And I knew on yesterday, after the Lakers prevailed against the Portland Trail Blazers, that of course the haters would come out and start posting all over Twitter and everywhere else. Look, the Lakers won without LeBron, but they lost to Houston without AD. Now, I could go pull up the numbers and show you what the Lakers record has been without LeBron and what the Lakers record has been without AD, but it's not even about that, because it's all about Lakers Nation and the team pulling together. But I can guarantee you that the Lakers record is better when missing AD than it is with LeBron, because I've done this show several times before, so no need to even go there. But one thing I do want to point out is a thing called context. And I don't know why I'm even wasting my time with this subject, but I'm just bringing it up for these haters, man. And that way, y'all can have something to take back to these haters. And feel free to post this anywhere you want to. Like, share, subscribe. If you haven't done so already, hit the bell. But what they take out of context is, who were the Lakers playing against? They were playing on the road against Houston, a very up and down the court team who shoots a lot of threes, versus a team kind of like Portland, who plays more of a traditional style of basketball, which is unlikely, which is more rare in the NBA nowadays. But if you take a look at it, the Houston Rockets are playing pretty good basketball, have a good young squad, added veterans such as Dillon Brooks and Jeff Green to the fold. And you look at the Houston Rockets record right now, lo and behold, they're 6-3. Then you take a look at Portland, they're 3-6, and barely beat a Grizzlies team, I believe, in the last minute of a game not too long ago, which got the Memphis Grizzlies coach in trouble by saying some not so nice words about the refereeing. So at the end of the day, you're talking 2 separate teams. And when you lose Anthony Davis, you do lose rim protection. And Houston is a young athletic team who can easily get to the basket, and they exploited that against the Lakers, and the Lakers didn't even have it that night, and Houston went out. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, the Lakers cannot afford for LeBron James to miss a lot of games, nor can they afford for Anthony Davis to miss a lot of games. But at the end of the day, what I will say about this Lakers team, even though they're not fully whole, is they're better than what they have been before previously, because whenever LeBron James went out or Anthony Davis went out, you think that they wouldn't be capable of getting a victory. I dare say that the Lakers still could have got a victory last night, because even without Anthony Davis, if they had LeBron James, because of the personnel and how they matched up. Even though you had an Ayton, Christian Wood could have maybe held his own, even though he was a -11 on yesterday, along with Jackson Hayes. The 2 Lakers backup big men didn't do very good, and we'll get into that in just a moment, because in the fourth quarter, the Lakers really had the game put away, but they allowed Portland to start the fourth quarter on a 12-0 run, and that was because of the lack of Anthony Davis being in the game at that particular time. But one thing I do want to focus on is that of D'Angelo Russell. I continue to keep saying this, and you look at his numbers, you'll say D'Angelo Russell had a good game, 11 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds. I mean, 11 assists is good. That means you're getting your teammates involved, and he is capable of doing that. I won't say that he isn't, but one thing he's not capable of is breaking down the defense and getting to the rim, because he doesn't have the athleticism, and then he settles for these bogus little jump shots that he does not make. Because even if you say, well, he had 11 points and 11 assists, if you look at how many shots he took 14 shots and only made 5 of them. By my calculation, that's 35%, and that is terrible by NBA standards. So you're talking about 35%. He played 31 minutes, but if you notice, when it got down to crunch time, what did we see? Who was in there? It was, of course, Austin Reeves, because that's somebody you can trust better with the basketball, who is capable of breaking down the defense and putting pressure on the defense and able to draw contact and able to create for others. And I'm not saying D'Angelo Russell can't create for others, but if you go back and look at the film, a lot of his assists come off of fast break, a lot of time in transition. He's not the best in pick and roll. He does have good lobs to AD sometimes in the pick and roll, but for the most part, I would still say Austin Reeves is better at picking apart a defense and trying to find mismatches and exploit those, as far as getting people mismatched on the pick and roll. What I noticed, Portland, they were last night, some teams that play drop coverage, some people play blitz coverage on pick and roll, but what I noticed about Portland on yesterday, they were playing switch through all 5 positions. So no matter what, when it was on the pick, they would switch out, and they trust all 5 of them players to be able to guard either the perimeter and or the paint when they're on a switch. And of course, I think the Lakers took advantage of that, and Anthony Davis had a monstrous game. We saw the other night, Anthony Davis was a little injured. You could tell he was injured, and maybe, you know, just coming off that injury, he just didn't have a lot of confidence in it. But on yesterday, he definitely did. And one of the best plays of the game is, I don't know if y'all can pull it up on NBA.com, is pull that up and you can see the pass in transition where AD demanded the basketball, and Austin Reeves threw a beautiful bounce pass from near half court, very low, and AD caught it down low, was able to go up and finish strong and get the and one. There was other plays where AD was holding his hand up even before the double team could get there, was begging for the ball, so he was being much more aggressive, and he was calling for the ball. So Anthony Davis needs to do this as well, even when he's playing on the floor with LeBron James, because we need an aggressive Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis is playing at the top of his game and LeBron James is playing at the top of his game, then the Lakers are going to be a tough team to beat. I don't care who you are. And then if you look at a team like the Denver Nuggets, they lost to Minnesota the other day. You look at Minnesota, they had a hell of a game. Anthony Edwards is playing beast mode. I don't know if y'all saw on last night when Draymond Green talked noise to Anthony Edwards, talked a lot of noise to him, and he was the wrong one, because people keep comparing Anthony Edwards to Jordan, and he do kind of got that similar attitude and the way he finishes. And a lot of people think I'm a Jordan hater. That is not the case. I got Jordan ranked number 2. You know, if I got him ranked number 2, then how am I a hater? Just like Stephen A. Smith said, he got LeBron number 2. How is he a hater? I agree. That's just his choice. That's where he grew up, and that's what he saw, and he idolized Jordan. I grew up watching Jordan too. I saw his whole career. I used to watch WB every day. I watched all the Bulls games. You understand me? I had TBS. Y'all youngsters don't understand. You had to watch games like that back then. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you was from the hood and didn't have a lot of cable. Look, you had TBS. You watched a lot of Atlanta Hawks games. You had the WB, you watched the Bulls games. That's just the way it was, you know? And I'm telling y'all something, I'm gonna make a whole nother show about the greatness of a one Dominique Wilkins one day, because Dominique Wilkins doesn't get enough credit for all the things that he was able to do. Because I dare say, if you put Dominique Wilkins on Chicago with Pippen and them boys, then you're gonna have the same success rate, because Dominique Wilkins was that guy for 10 seasons straight. Dominique Wilkins averaged over 25. He's only one of 5 players in the history of the NBA to do so. So you better check it and don't disrespect it, man. The human highlight reel was real. He got robbed out of the slam dunk contest with Ja. But we ain't gonna talk about all that today. I'm gonna make a whole nother video about that one day, man, because people sleeping on Dominique Wilkins and how great he truly was. His next best player that he's ever had alongside him was Doc Rivers. So that ought to let you know something. Never played with a Hall of Fame caliber teammate. And that's what I'm saying about the watered down nature of the NBA then, when you had 6 expansion teams and you had every team might have been lucky to have 1 Hall of Famer on it during that time. But Jordan had a Hall of Fame teammate his whole career, and then 3 of those championships had 2 Hall of Fame teammates, and that are Dennis Rodman and Scottie Pippen. And even though Kukoc has made it to the Hall of Fame, I'm not going to include him. He was a hell of a six man and a great player. Hall of Fame worthy, maybe, because it is the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, not just necessarily NBA, because he did have a hell of a European career as well. But we're not going to get into all that. But going back to what I was saying about the Lakers, Cam Reddish continued to have a good game on last night. 18 points, 16 of those came in the first half, so he slowed down in the second half. I noticed the chemistry between him and Austin Reeves. And if you look at the post-game clip of what he was saying, the post-game clip, they asked Cam Reddish again, which I'm sure he's tired of hearing the same question. What does it mean for LeBron James to have this much confidence in you, blase, this or that? And of course he said it meant a lot that LeBron James had faith in him and continue to do so. But he said not only LeBron James, but all of his teammates, and that he has never been in a culture like this of the locker room with that of the Los Angeles Lakers, with so much positivity and so much encouragement from teammates. And you could tell on one of the assists that Austin Reeves, he could have pulled up and took the shot, but he stopped short. Cam Reddish was trailing. He stopped, bounced it back to him, and boom, Cam Reddish with the three at the top of the key. And they both smiled and hit each other, man, gave each other some play. You understand me? And that's what it was, you know, and you can see that chemistry growing. Hachimura got the nod last night as a starter. He came away with 19 points. You're talking about, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Lakers in double digits. You had Prince had 11, D'Angelo Russell had 11, Reeves had 18. The only players who didn't play particularly well on yesterday in their second unit was that of Jackson Hayes and Christian Wood. Christian Wood missed some open shots that I think he could have took advantage of, but he didn't really have any points on yesterday. But Austin Reeves, you know, that depth lineup again, like I keep telling y'all, at the end of the day, that very last lineup of minus that of D'Angelo Russell. And that keeps being successful, even without LeBron James. So you mean to tell me in a game without LeBron James, you still took D'Lo off the floor in the final 5 or 6 minutes of the game? Because whether y'all watched the game or not, I did. The Blazers, that game was still winnable by the Blazers in the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game. That game was still winnable by them by the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game. And it was a play by Taurean Prince, who actually, the Blazers almost kind of threw it away. Would have been a backcourt. For some reason, DeAndre Ayton just sat there and stood and looked at the ball thinking it was going to go out of bounds, but Prince swooped in and got it and finished at the rim and had a free layup at the rim to put the Lakers up by 5, I think it was. And one of the plays was Rui Hachimura charged, I forget who he charged, but they said it was a blocking foul. I thought they were going to say it was going to be overturned. They ended up taking the and one play from him and said that it was not a continuation, but that the other player was moving laterally. I think Rui lowered the shoulder, so the Lakers might have got away with one there. That show you I'm not biased, y'all. I be calling it like I see it. You understand me? But Hachimura had a good game, 6 out of 10, man, 60%, 6 for 6 from free throw. He was a plus 17. Shouts out to Hachimura plus 17. Shouts out to AD plus 17. Shouts out to the whole Lakers starting lineup who was all a plus on yesterday. You understand me? The only minuses was Jackson Hayes and Christian Wood. And I think Jackson Hayes is going to turn into and develop into a better player over the course of the season. I think once Vanderbilt gets back into the fold, though, we won't see a whole lot of Jackson Hayes. What I wouldn't mind seeing is, we've seen AD alongside Wood, but we ain't seen a lot of AD alongside Jackson Hayes. But then we saw some Jackson Hayes alongside Christian Wood. So I'm trying to figure it out, and I know Ham's still trying to figure it out. But at the end of the day, man, Lakers 5-5. A lot better start than last season. We know last season, 12 games in, they started off 2-10. So at least right now they 500. I think they're in the 7th seed right about now. And I don't hear nobody talking about that super team over there in LA called the Clippers. I ain't even heard nobody say it was a super team. I'm gonna do a whole nother show about these false narratives and super teams, because any team LeBron go on, they say it's a super team, because it is. Cause he make it super. Hell, you take LeBron James off of Miami and put somebody else on it, you don't say that was a super team. No, he made it a super team. You take LeBron James out the cast and you throw anybody else with Kevin Love and Kyrie, it ain't a super team without GOAT. It ain't a super team without GOAT. So y'all need to get your facts straight up here. You understand what I'm telling you? But again, at the end of the day, the Lakers are going to be a problem once they keep establishing their defensive identity. And that is something that they're going to continue to do, especially, like I said, when Vanderbilt gets back. And he's a very versatile defender. And from what I hear, he's really been practicing that corner three. So if he can get that percentage up to just a respectable percentage, because compared to what the rest of the Lakers doing, they're shooting abysmal. So we shall see, man. But anyway, man, this has been your boy B New, man. I'm saying right on to the real, and much love to these haters. I'm out.